Okay, Dave, this is a quick overview of our JVC camera. Just a couple things about it that are unique that you might save you some trouble. Basically, you'll be putting your headphones in up here on the front, behind this. There's a mic input and a headphone input there. The mic input, if you have some external mic that uses the small mini phone plug. It's not very common. It might be on one of the cheapy wirelesses. Anyway, phones go there. The microphone that's connected to the camera here, this is the built-in shotgun. And let's see. Got input 1 and 2. So if you use a wireless mic, you can put it in here and be in good shape. Make sure that this is plugged in here. This is the cable that connects the XLR input and the whole audio pod to the camera. Alright, so you've got the mics in there. When you do your mic selection on the other side, this is a little goofy, but just make sure that you confirm everything's working. Select what input goes into channel 2, whether it's channel 1 or channel 2 goes into 2. The audio inputs select line, mic, and the 48 volt fan powered onboard mic that you see, the big one, this guy. So anyway, just when you put your wireless mic on, if you do that, just make sure you confirm and then switch these around until you get a signal. Auto, manual, you know all about that. The audio switches there. Usually I do it auto. Down here on this is an option for setting what the focus ring, or does it work on zoom. If you like manual zooming, that's fine, put it on zoom. I usually don't mess with it, focus. Your of course then here's ND focus, your ND filter here, make sure that's off if you're indoors. The camera has a pretty cool little built-in, but now the window's open and I can close it like that. So just make sure she's open. Things work better when they open. Okay, white balance, you've got several selections. Again, this is nothing different from the other big camera. They have presets on it. Gain, make sure you're on low unless you're in a really low light situation. It gets noisier. White balance is automatic in full automatic mode. If you want to set for oddball lighting, put it on manual and punch up the auto white balance, and it'll show on the LCD screen that you've got a good white balance. And the AB here is actually switching between the A and B SD cards. It's an auto switch normally, and that's what I would leave. It switches over from one to the other. When this one gets full, it goes to that. But for some reason you want to switch by hand. I don't know why you push that, so ignore that. Let's see, not much else to worry about here on this. The battery button here, push that, and then I can release the bat. Okay, put it there, snaps in. Oh, shutters and stuff. This is kind of important if you're having trouble getting an exposure you like with auto. You can do an auto exposure override by pushing this auto plus minus switch, and then you can every time you push it, it will actually decrease or increase the exposures by a stop. And I think that happens when you do that and roll this. Let's take a look and see. So I got her opened up. Open up the lens cover. I do the auto exposure. Oh, I gotta put a memory card in there. Oh well, pretend it had a memory card. And darn it, memory cards. Let's see, where are the memory cards? Okay, memory cards, like here. They go in down this little guy. You gotta flip the little door open. Whoops, these things are tiny. And then insert it, only goes in one way. Put my memory card in, snap it in there. and you're good to go. You can put in 2 of those. Like I say, it'll do an auto switch from one to the other. Be careful when you take them out, you punch them in, and they're spring powered, and sometimes they can really fly out of there and disappear into the bushes. So just make sure you got your hands on it. So I put the card in. I'm going to turn it on. This will be a happier camera now. Now if I was going to do the auto iris, if I push auto iris, you can see it says -1 there, -2. Yeah, by rolling this switch here, I can go up and down on the auto iris if I need to adjust from the automatic exposure. Okay, so that again is if you're in auto mode, this auto iris plus minus is a handy thing to give you some control. If you go to full manual mode, then you've got this iris control here, and as you can see, it wants me to set the manual mode. I can set it to manual mode up here. There are 2 buttons that are actually pretty important. I missed. One is this autofocus manual focus button, and then there's your full auto manual button. So the full auto versus manual button, if I push that, it chooses between auto mode and manual mode for your exposure control. So typically I'm using auto mode, and then I like using auto mode plus the auto exposure override there if I need to. The other button, which is the auto focus, manual focus, you know how that was best to work with that, is that I will zoom all the way into a person's nose hairs that I'm interviewing and put it on autofocus, punch in autofocus, and you'll see it up in the upper left corner, autofocus. Once it's sharp on the guy's nose hairs, I put it on manual. So it's a tough little button to find. You gotta often look. There it is, manual focus. Then I can zoom back out and everything will stay in focus, and I won't get any of that focus sort of nervous sort of twitch that sometimes happens with autofocus. Okay? So I use autofocus only to snap it into focus. The other time I use autofocus is, of course, if I'm wide angle and I'm moving around through the scene, that kind of stuff. Nothing wrong with autofocus in those situations. Okay. The other is using you can check what's on your card and what you're viewing. You go between the camera and the media by switching this button here. If you switch it to media, then you'll see all of your clips show up on the pad here, and then you can view them. This little rocker, this is a rocker item. I can switch up and down. If I go ahead and get a picture of Norm here and then I push it in, that selects it, and I get a chance to review my footage. And when you're done, you can just push index and it goes back to all of your shots. Anyway, you can toggle around to make sure you got what you want. There's also a handy dandy record button down here so that you can initiate recording from here without having to reach around the top of the camera, you know, to punch the record button there. So you got 2 record buttons. What else? Oh, I can't record, obviously. I'm in the cam mode. I've got to go back and select the camera setting, and now it's back to being a camera again. Okay, well, this is like a 9-minute intro. There's the manuals in there, but I thought maybe this would help you a little bit. Can't think of much else that you'll run into. If you need DC power in, that is down here on the bottom. There's a power pack there if you need to. The batteries we got 4 of them in there. The battery charger's there. What else can I say? It's a sweet little camera. So the thing is on there we go. So I think you'll have fun with it. It does have image stabilization, so you should be in pretty good shape without a tripod, but tripods are good. All right, coming up on 10 minutes. Have fun. Bye.